Meeting to order. We have established a quorum with 8 members present. We will now move on to a pledge of allegiance, and I'd like to have Mr. Michael Cass lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we will now move on to the Director of Schools contract. Okay, we'll move on to Director of School contract. We are now considering the Director of Schools contract. We had a preliminary report done in the Director's Evaluation meeting, committee meeting. Oh, whoops, sorry. Okay, I'm going to move back one because we forgot to adopt the agenda, or I forgot to adopt the agenda. So I have a motion to adopt the agenda. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
It's been, is it moved and approved by School Member Mays and seconded by Taylor, Member Taylor. All in favor, raise your hand. All right, it passes unanimously. Now we'll move on to Director of Schools contract. We talked about in the directors, we did a full report about the contract in the director's evaluation committee. And I'll just review the highlights regarding the contract. Why now? Basically, we want to begin the process of renewal of the Director of Schools contract, along with the annual summative evaluation. Dr. Battle's contract expires in 2026. We're heading into the last year of that. The board feels that it's important to secure a relationship with our one employee, the Director of Schools, Dr. Battle, and for the Nashville and national community that we are having a productive and quality relationship with our employee, Director of Schools. Dr. Battle will be the last employee to receive an increase or pay restructuring per contract. We've already done pay increases for our support staff, our certificated staff, our principal and in our support hub. We have done a restructuring of the salary scale and have included COLA and increases for our support staff and certificated employees and our support hub employees and principals. We want to acknowledge that when Dr. Battle became appointed, received her permanent appointment to Director of Schools in 2020. That was during a pandemic with her 5-year tenure here so far, and also during natural disasters of a tornado, and also being part of the community of a tragic event with Covenant. The notable achievements that our Director of Schools has achieved along with her team and the many employees of MMPS. For every state assessment MMPS has administered, we have met or exceeded 95% of the participation rate. A higher percentage of MMPS students have reached proficiency in 2024 than in 2023 in every tested category. TCAP achievement scores improved in every grade level, in every content. ELA, English Language Arts, scores are the highest they have ever been since the new standards have been introduced, and surpassing pre-pandemic levels in 2023. One-year TCAP achievement scores improvement across grades 3 through 8 equaled or surpassed that of the states for 17 of the 21 grade subjects combinations. One-year TCAP end of course score improvement equal or surpass the state for 5 of the 7 end of course subjects. Anticipated significant increases in high school graduation rates and anticipated level 5 TVAS, which is the highest possible growth score 3 years in a row. And in her evaluation, she met all the summative findings and ratings in ESL, social emotional learning, literacy, numeracy, and transitions. And so these are the accomplishments that Dr. Battle has made as our director of schools. We have seen increased support from the community. We've seen her receive high approval ratings in various polls and assessments through different media and organizational outlets also. And so we figured this was the right time, given that we just considered her and went through the evaluation process to renew her contract going for the next year that it would to be expired. And so that is what I say about the contract. For our audience, there will be a salary increase to $365,000. We are removing the vacation day cash out portion of her contract, adding international professional development services, giving our international notice of our national status of our academies, or our academies being internationally known, and changing the contract renewal date to July 1, 2026. But we're keeping the essential base contract from the current contract that she is under now. And so now I would entertain a motion for approval of Dr. Battle's contract.
Motion to approve.
It's been motioned by Member Mays. Is there a second? Second by Member Tyler. Now we will have discussion. Okay. Member O'Hara Block.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we discussed in our evaluation committee relative to this contract, which is just that the achievements that Dr. Battle has had and the ways in which her leadership have impacted the district over the period of her tenure, but in particular over the last 3 or so years, and seeing the kind of improvement that we've seen, and 2 years of documented level 5 TVOS status, which is the highest level of growth we can have, and an anticipated third year when we get that information released. I think everything that we're doing in this contract to make sure that Dr. Battle is recognized for the work that she has done, and that we are ensuring that we keep her at the helm of our district, everything and more.
Thank you. Member Mays.
Yes, I just wanted to add that we need to make sure that we are always remembering that this is our one employee, and that everything that we do is directly related to the expected outcomes, which are directly related to our strategic plan, which for the listening audience can be found on the MNPS website. But more importantly, I think it's important to make sure that we understand that our one employee is responsible for over 10,000 employees, over 82,000 students, and over 160,000 parents and or guardians. And so when we talk about the accomplishments that we count towards this administration, I think it's extremely important that we understand and recognize that, I don't know about y'all, but not a single one of us at this table want to do that big of a job. So thank you, Dr. Battle, for the amazing job and the accomplishments, and always keeping our children at the forefront of everything that you and your team do.
Any other discussion? Vice Chair Nabhan-Kinney.
I just want to echo that the sentiment, what we have seen in spite of, in addition to a pandemic, a tornado, and all of the other major events that have happened within our city that can often disrupt teaching and learning within our school district, we have continued to push the needle to support students across our district, and we are seeing the return on our investment. as we continue to move the needle. I wish that our TVOS scores would be released. And as I said in our evaluation process, that is our good housekeeping seal of approval to say that we are doing what we're saying that we're doing. But we're confident in that preliminary data to be able to support this again. And so over the last 3 years in the evaluation, I've led the evaluation process. And over the last 3 years, we have seen significant and record improvements in our academic work within this district. And that is a testament to Dr. Battle and her leadership, those she has selected in her cabinet, and teachers, staff, and everyone across the board. And parents, students as well. So it takes a really focused leader, a very strategic leader, to be able to narrow in and do the work that we are seeing, and we are seeing it year over year. And I agree. I want to be able to, without hesitation, say that she is very deserving of. Well, actually, we want to keep her within our district, right? And we want to be solid as a board to say that we really support and appreciate her leadership and the work that we are seeing here. And so I intend to support the updated contract, the extension of the contract, and all of the amendments that were made in that contract.
All right. Any more discussion? All right, we are, Member Mays made a motion to approve the new Director of Schools contract. It was second by Member Tyler. Yes, Member Tyler. Now we will vote. All in favor of the contract, please raise your hand. The contract's unanimous. Congratulations, Dr. Battle, on your on your new 4-year contract with our school district. We are proud to have you as an employee. We've been very proud of your accomplishments and what you and your team have done. And we look forward for a new 4 years of working with you and continue to do great things with you.
And you stuck with us now, girl.
Well, thank you, Chair Player. Thank you to the entire school board, and just on behalf of Team MMPS, we appreciate your continued support and advocacy, and in just alignment with our mantra, we'll continue our work to ensure that every MMPS student is known, that they're supported, that they're cared for, and on a path towards success. So with the utmost gratitude and thanks to the entire board, again, thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Now we'll move on to Director's Report. Dr. Battle.
All right. Good evening, Chair Player and board members. Here at Nashville Public Schools, with our mantra, again, of every student known, that means caring about the whole child, their passions, their challenges they face, and the opportunities we can provide to create welcoming learning environments. And so just as we have a strong focus on our academic results, we also focus on social emotional well-being of our students. In order to do that, it is important to bring educators together to learn from each other and better understand those best practices that will help us to support our students. In July, hundreds of educators gathered at James Lawson High School for the Music City SEL Conference. This year's theme, Integrate to Elevate, using SEL to level up focused outcomes, was energized by keynote speaker Patrick Briggs, Abbott's Northeast Area Director. His inspiring message emphasized the importance of building strong relationships with students and recognizing the trauma many of them face. I hope you'll enjoy a brief video that showcases the Music City SEL Conference and the experiences shared by our team. Thank you to all of the sponsors and supporters of this event who helped make it happen, including co-chairs Dr. Jamie Lomax, Roger Dinwiddie with STARS, and Heather Chalice with Alignment Nashville for creating this wonderful opportunity for our educators. In that same vein, coming up next year, we're so proud to host the 2025 Magnet Schools of America Conference right here in Nashville in April. So as you know, we have been incredibly fortunate to receive several MSAP grants in recent years. including a recent announcement just last week of $15 million over 5 years. These grants have helped and will help to transform and support many schools across the district. Those newest schools, again, are Glenview Spanish Immersion, Paragon Mills Spanish Immersion, Taylor Stratton Spanish Immersion and IB, and Brick Church Middle Early College. We're going to be welcoming hundreds of educators and school leaders from around the country to showcase our great magnet schools so that they can learn from us and we can learn from them, and we can work collaboratively to strengthen our public schools. So again, thank you to Chief Renita Perry and the entire MSAP team for working to make this happen for our district. And we look forward to welcoming Magnet Schools of America in the spring. So here's a little taste of what we're going to offer via 2 short videos. At the conclusion, Chair Player, I will turn it back over to you.
You can feel the energy and the positivity in the group.
Social emotional learning, or SEL, is at the heart of everything that we do in Metro Nashville Public Schools. This conference, this experience is making a huge difference for our educators and our leaders. We are moving and shifting from why social emotional learning and the integration into academics into the how. I mean, that's a sweet spot for educators and for districts. When you're talking about at scale, understanding at the core of what we do, why we do what we do every day, particularly when you have a mantra like we have in MNPS of every student knows.
We strive to do all that stuff for all students. Come on, say all.
The keynote speaker did a great job keeping people elevated, like ready to run through a brick wall for kids. Like, it was good.
I thoroughly enjoyed the SEL conference. I think it's a great opportunity for educators to get together and network. And if you're rather a new teacher or an older teacher, this conference is for you because it's going to give you skills that you probably hadn't thought about in the way that it's going to be presented to you. I think we all know how to be nice to people or how to be kind, but we go a little bit further and we actually give real skills on how to make that happen.
I'm very honored to be a part of a district that supports social and emotional learning. I just finished my doctoral program and my dissertation was on the power of social and emotional learning in an elementary class setting. So I'm honored to be a part of a school district that's so passionate about it.
The great thing about this conference is through the lens of equity. We have multiple training sessions and opportunities so people can come and get what they need. We have created a day of mindfulness space for adults to go in and just be themselves and unwind. So I get to take a little piece of different learning experiences with me. But it gives me voice and choice. And sometimes we forget that the adults need voice and choice, and then the relationships they build as they interact with other people throughout the sessions.
We have a beautiful partnership with Metro Nashville Public Schools, and we have for over 36 years. And so we just have this mutual dedication to the hope, health, and connection of young people. And this is a beautiful way to showcase that and to keep educators in their line of passion to support kids.
This conference has been very empowering. I feel like I've learned a lot about how to help children regulate themselves and the importance of modeling behavior and also making children feel seen and known.
You think you can tell me how you're feeling today?
SEL is not an add-on. It's not just something we do. It's like, it's who we are in a sense.
Believe in the power of social and emotional learning because it works.
We invite you to our city to learn, to play, to explore, to experience what we're known for. A place where entertainers, educators, and moms and dads make a difference through love and kindness. Southern hospitality. We invite you to the birthplace of the future. A pledge, a circle, a moment of silence, and then we're off. Off to change the trajectory of lives. to build a better future for our families, our neighbors, our city, our world. We thank our teachers, administrators, parents, and community partners for paving the way for every child to reach their greatest potential. Our passion for academic excellence and equity led by our very own Dr. Adrian Battle, homegrown in Metro Nashville Public Schools. Metro Nashville Public Schools, 5-year-old entrepreneurs, 6-year-old environmental scientists, 16-year-old songwriters, 17-year-old broadcasters, magnet schools expanding opportunities. Metro Nashville Public Schools, celebrating the diversity of thoughts, cultures, experiences, creativity, and wisdom that belongs in every classroom, every project, every debate. The richness and wealth of knowledge that comes from connecting with one another. Harmony. We are avid about bringing the future to our children and our children to the future. Avid about success and ensuring every student is known. We transform college and career prep in our world-renowned academies, like the Academy of Global Health and Science, Academy of Engineering, of Business and Hospitality. And speaking of hospitality, we invite you to our city to experience Nashville.
'25 SAP coming. And as we talk about STEAM too, with MSAP, we're really excited for that. And we're more than happy to host schools all across the country to see our great school district. So thank you. Moving on, there's no one signed up to speak for public participation. So we'll move on to governance issue. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Is there a discussion on the director's report? Oh, is there a discussion on the report? Yes.
Well,
Member Tyler, sorry.
I mean, are we going to get a more, I understand that this was just the conference recap and the conference trailer. Are we going to get a more in-depth discussion on SEL in general in a future director's report as opposed to just kind of the conference recap?
Yes, we can have that.
Great.
Added on with the virtual option.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
That's, just wanted to make sure that that was.
Okay, we'll
in
make
the
sure that
works.
comes up on a future director's report.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions, comments? Okay, we will move on. Well, there's no public participation. No one has signed up. So now we'll move on to governance issues. I will accept a motion for accepting of the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Vice Chair Nabhan Kinney. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by former Chair Mays. Chair Emeritus Mays. All in favor of the consent contract? Raise your hand. Consent agenda, excuse me. All right, everyone approved. It passes unanimously. We will move on to board reports. We have a report from our student board chair, Christina Chan, about the Great City School. So I will turn it over to her for her report. You can do it from your chair. I mean, if you really want to do it from the podium.
No, I was just curious.
That's the advantage of you being a student board chair. You can do it from the dais.
Hip hip hooray. So the first thing I was so grateful for the opportunity to go be a panelist at the the Council of Great City Schools Town Hall. Shout out to my travel buddy and chaperone, Miss Mays. She was awesome. I did want to start from the very beginning. So day one, we got there very late at night, and I had a realization. Something kind of happened, right? We walked in and we saw all these. So I saw all these educators, and Ms. Mays did too. Get in lit, get in nasty, and I thought that was pretty funny. Seeing people that are, typically very professional be the opposite of that. It was very, very fun. Moving on to the actual panel, I did learn a lot. There were a lot of questions, really referencing kind of the modern problems and issues within our school system, and a lot to do with politics and the role of Gen Z and students in politics. And I thought that was really interesting as well. The panel was moderated by Chuck Todd. Sorry, Miss. It was really fun. I learned a lot, and I did want to talk about it because I think it offered me a lot of insight, and I think it could offer everyone else here a lot of insight as well. So, first thing, it's something that we did talk about today as well. Here, scores from every grade level have been increasing. And I think it was kind of just an achievement that I was really it was really nice knowing that here. But really going to the panel and talking to other students, that isn't the norm. And for some reason, that was kind of really crazy to me. It really wasn't the norm that scores are increasing anywhere. And a lot of other students that I would talk to, scores in their district were decreasing. So I found myself becoming more and more grateful for where I am and what district I belong to. I want to talk about a few of the schools individually, or a few of the districts individually. There are people from everywhere. There are people from Chicago, people from Albuquerque, and that's also who I want to talk about first. So at Albuquerque, there were 2 students there. 2 out of the 8 students there were from Albuquerque, and they both thought that they needed more student representatives in their board. And they have a system where they have a senate in each school, which serves as the student council, but that same senate also serves as representatives for the state, which I thought that was really interesting as well. But their board, I don't think their board has representatives at all, which is very, very interesting. But it was the case for a lot of these other districts, which was disappointing, but it does make me so much more grateful for where I am and the people I surround myself with, and the district that I'm in. In Philadelphia, shout out to Kavans, he's probably not going to be listening. He said a lot on the panel that I think really needs to be heard. A lot with politicians nowadays and how education is. But their school districts are really small, and they have a system where they have to apply to their high schools and hope they get in, or else they'll have to go to a lesser high school. And then they start preparing and studying, writing essays in 7th and 8th grade to do that. But in his opinion, Kavans thought his school board was doing the best they could for what they had. But also their schools had no gyms. And I thought that was really interesting because it's not something we ever think about. Because schools have gyms, usually. But it really is a privilege, which moves me on to the next district that I wanted to talk about, which was Atlanta. So similar to our district, they had an advisory board for the superintendent, and one of the representatives came and represented as one of the panelists. But they never knew about student representatives on the board at all. There was just an advisory board talking to the superintendent. And their schools don't have libraries, which was really disheartening to hear, and really made me realize that what we have is a privilege. Oftentimes you think of schools as just something you have to go to, or as a student, school is somewhere I just kind of have to go to, and I never really think twice about it. But it really did make me think a lot deeper about where I am, who I am, and the people around me. But their school board also wanted to learn, I think, is something that she said. A lot of these school boards want to do something, but can't because it isn't feasible for them. So I'm grateful for my school board and what we have. But despite that, I think also a lot of school boards, a lot of what I've heard from these students was that their school boards never visited their schools at all, which was very odd to me because it's something I'm kind of used to. As an ambassador I give tours a lot, and I recognize a lot of faces here at my school, and I know and hear that they also go to these other schools and participate in these events. But a lot of these other school board members from other districts never set foot in the schools that they're governing and creating policies on. So overall, I think it was a very insightful and helpful opportunity, and I'm so glad I went, and I'm so glad I heard all these other perspectives, and it really did put in perspective for me the place I'm at and the district I'm in and how much they're actually doing for me. So that was my experience at the town hall and learning from these students. I had so much fun. I met so many people. I felt like a celebrity there. Everyone was following me, taking photos. And when we were walking around together as a group, everyone was taking photos of us and coming up to us, telling us how proud they were that we were there, and how proud they were that we were speaking. And I think that was great. I think that was amazing that we were recognized for speaking. But I think it shouldn't have just been just us 8, because we don't encapsulate every student in every district. And I think every educator needs to know more about every other district and have that kind of experience, and not just school board members. But that was my experience. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And I hope that we can all be more mindful of where we are and where everyone else is.
School board member Mays.
Yes, I just want to add really quickly, Christine did an amazing job. And she's right. We had individuals following after the panel, wanting to take pictures with her and telling her how great of a job she did. One thing in particular that she said that I think stuck with a lot of the adults in the room is when she had an opportunity to share her thoughts, she said that she was not there as an individual. She was there to represent the entire school district. And that stuck with a lot of people in that room. And it was disheartening to hear that one of our neighbors didn't have a library in the school. They don't have a library, and it just, it was a collective, oh my gosh, in the entire room. It was a great opportunity for me to listen to those young people. There were a lot of opportunities to take away some potential policy updates, just listening to what they want. And I think it's important for us to always know that if we are creating these policies, we first have to keep in mind the young people that they will impact the most. And if we're not including them in the conversation, it's a travesty. It truly is. We've got to make sure that they are included, and they are so smart and innovative. And I'm so grateful that we are so well represented in Metro Nashville Public Schools. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you. And thank you for representing us. We're very proud of you. And just give kudos to former board member Jeannie Poo Walker, who revitalized the student board member. And so we have our 2 great young ladies here with the board and just giving the voice. And as I say, your voice is important, and that I've always respected and appreciate the courage you to speak truth to power and speak your honest opinion, that make sure the policies and the decisions we make at this day is that the students' voice is incorporated, but you also give the honest truth to that so we can make the correct decisions to make sure you have a great education and great academic experience. All right. We had a director's evaluation committee meeting. Do you want to give a report on that, please, Vice Chair?
Yeah, thank you. Before I get started on that report, I was also able to see Christine with the panel of students. I will just say, if you have not seen a panel of students talk about policy and politics, you need to experience. Those students were phenomenal. They did not bite their tongue. They talked about how old people were and how disconnected they were to decisions that are being made. You heard a lot of gasp and a lot of okay. And so those students level set their experiences and the things that they go through as students within our district, and really discuss things that we often take for granted or we don't think that they're mature enough to process through. And so it was phenomenal. it was amazing experience, and I think in many ways it caught Chuck Todd off guard a few times, and he's used to doing this work, and even he was surprised by the feedback that he was receiving with that. And so I always say we shouldn't underestimate our young people. They are phenomenal with bright minds, and when we give them the opportunities, they flourish. And so let us all continue to be mindful in doing so. As far as the director's report, we did a summative evaluation on Dr. Battle for the school year of 2023 and 2024, which was last school year. In our evaluation cycle, we always work a year behind because we don't get our state data until the following year. And so we generally try to complete each previous year's evaluation within October, because we are also in a current evaluation cycle with the new school year. And for you all, first quarter just ended today. Students got their report cards. They went home today. So check your baby's report cards. I'm putting it out there. Also, with the report, there was 4 focused outcomes that we as a board look at as a focus to move the needle for students across our district. Those 4 focused outcomes are around literacy, numeracy, transitions, and social emotional supports, as well as we look at other initiatives that help support us getting to those focused outcomes. When we look at budgets and human resources and all of those things that it takes to really support our district and support the mission that we are looking to do across the district. And so as we looked at that and we looked at the evidence of moving the needle for our district, we have seen evidence year over year that Dr. Battle is, under Dr. Battle's leadership, we are moving the needle for students across our district in record-breaking and significant ways. Over the last 2 years, we have been a level 5 TVOS district, and fingers crossed as that final report comes out, hopefully we will be a three-peat. And keep in mind, we have never done back-to-back. We've never done 2 in a row. And so that's already historic. Imagine if we are a level 5 district 3 times in a row. That is just something that has not happened in the history of MNPS. So we are right on track. We are doing the work that needs to be done as a board to support Dr. Battle, and under her leadership, she is moving the needle for students. And so with that, we felt that she met every category around literacy, numeracy, social emotional learning, and transitions, those 4 focused outcomes that we talk about and we guide our decisions throughout. And we also understand that while we are making these academic gains, we know where we are and we won't stay there, and we will continue to move the needle for students and continue to get it right. And so that is the completion of the evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to announcements. We will begin District 1. Mr. Taylor.
Good evening, everyone. I have 3 quick announcements. The first one is an event taking place on October 25th. MDHA is hosting a Youth Unity Day conference for ages 10 to 17 from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., and meals will be provided for everyone in attendance. And it's over at the JCUC Housing Development at 78 Lafayette Street. On November 2nd, we are having the Fatherhood Festival that was postponed due to weather last month. And that will be taking place at IT Crestwell Middle School from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's a fatherhood festival, but the entire family is invited. There'll be free, fun activities for all of the children. And there also will be food for everyone, and the event is free of charge. It's November the 2nd at IT Crestwell from 11 to 3. And last but not least, on November the 3rd, which is the following day, there is a teen summit being hosted at Maplewood High School from 3 to 6 p.m. and that event is free of charge as well. That's all I got.
Thank you. District 2, Ms. Elrod.
Thank you. So first, I want to make sure everyone's aware that this Friday there is no school, though teachers and staff are reporting as it's parent-teacher conferences. If you are a parent or you have the rights to be in a parent-teacher conference, I strongly encourage you to make that appointment. We, of course, are providing those in person and virtually, so it's convenient to our families. You may have heard, if you have a Gold Star or an A+ student that watches all of the board meetings, you may have heard in our board evaluation committee about utilization of our student dashboard. Again, I encourage families to look at that. It's so wise to have that information in front of you and be prepared for your parent-teacher conference. And so those two things kind of coincide. And so want to make sure that we bring that to attention since it is this Friday. Additionally, this Friday at Overton, we have Coffee with Dr. Gardner, our great executive principal there, from 7:30 to 9 a.m. Anyone is welcome to attend, whether you're a student or family that currently attends or you're considering attending Overton, to learn more about it. And Dr. Gardner, it is in the library. There is also... Yes, open to everybody. Please come and see us. There's also Saturday, November 2nd is a big day, as we just heard from Mr. Taylor. So on the 2nd, also district-wide, we have the Every Student Known event on Saturday, November 2nd. It's at Hillsborough High School from 9 to 1. And there's also, after you go to that, come to Overton from 2 to 5. There's the Fall Festival. The Fall Festival at Overton is open to all ages. It's the second annual one that they've had. We went last year, and it was really wonderful for my children who are in elementary school. It's going to be at the football field, weather permitting, and inside the cafeteria. There's going to be games, food, pumpkin painting, arts and crafts. The students are manning it. It's a really great way to build community for the surrounding neighborhoods, whether you're a part of that cluster or considering it. It's also a really great way for your kids to see big kids. My kids were just taken by all the big kids and how nice the big kids were. So it's a great experience, and it's a really good showcase of how wonderful the big kids are at Overton, as our student board member Hannah will attest to. And then we also have at Overton coming up. One last thing, hold on, sorry, we have so much happening. Overton has always got stuff going on. There's also Robin Hood. What are the dates? Here they are. Okay. November 7th, 8th, 9th, and 12th at 7 p.m. The Bobcat Players are always really a great group. If you're interested in local theater, they've won great awards. And so we really suggest that you go see it, but it's Robin Hood, and I encourage you to go see it. Other than that, a bunch of my schools are preparing, of course, for being out this Friday. And then, of course, on Election Day, please don't forget that we are closed on Election Day. And then the following day for veterans, so, or the following Monday. So really excited for everybody to get their report cards. And if you don't get those, that they're not in your kid's backpack, check that student dashboard again.
Thank you. District 3, Mr. Young.
Vote as if the future of public schools depends on it.
Thank you. District 4, Vice Chair.
I echo Zach. Couple of announcements. One, I just want to acknowledge that we have Dr. Paula Pendergrass with MNEAN and Ms. Tamika White with SEIU. Looks like we also have a representative from NOAA, so welcome. Also, early voting ends next Thursday, October 31st on Halloween, so make sure that you vote before you take your kids trick-or-treating. Make sure you get it in. Voting lines have been long. I know over in my district, they're running anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. So make sure that you are monitoring those times and getting in. We have people who have been back 4 or 5 times because they don't want to wait, but eventually they're going to wait to vote. So be persistent. Again, Election Day is November 5th. Also want to acknowledge that this Thursday, it's homecoming season. So it's senior night for McGavock High School, and their homecoming is this Thursday. And then on Saturday, the band will be performing in the Contest of Champions. And so wish all the students in the McGavock at McGavick High School, the best with homecoming, as well as the band with the Contest of Champions. Thank you.
District 5, Ms. Fain.
I have one announcement. WeFest returns Saturday, October 26th. The WeFest is the annual Williamson Edmondson Arts and Cultural Festival. It will be held at the William Edmondson Homesite Park and Gardens and Historic Site, 1450 14th Avenue South, Nashville. There will be a groundbreaking sculpture of William Edmondson, several different diverse arts and crafts, the community, of course, celebrating Edge Hill's community-rich African-American history and culture. If you get a chance, go out and check that out.
District 6, Ms. Mays.
Thank you so much. Off the top, just as a reminder to everyone, tonight is the All Southeast Community Meeting that will feature our Southeast Council members. It starts at 6 p.m. at Cane Ridge High School. And Thursday, we will have the Antioch Cluster Meeting where we will talk about proposed changes that will be coming on board for the Antioch Cluster for the 25-26 school year. That will be at Antioch High School, and I believe that starts at 5:30? 6?
5:30.
Smith Springs? I knew that. Smith Springs Elementary. I would have been at the wrong school. Just as a reminder to my board colleagues, if you have not already registered, please go ahead and get registered for the upcoming TSBA conference, which will run from November 7th through November 10th. It will be in Nashville at the Upperland Hotel. We would love to get 100% participation from Metro Nashville Public Schools. So please, if you have not already registered and you have questions, our Queen Cameo would be happy to help you out. Just a couple of quick things. I have been asked this question several times, and now we have an answer. If you are interested in purchasing any items from the Every Student Known collection, that merchandise is currently available on our website, and all proceeds go to support music initiatives in Metro Nashville Public Schools. So if you have been hankering to get one of those really cool T-shirts, now's your opportunity. If you go to the website, you can get your own special merchandise. And finally, I just want to give a big shout out to all of our Blue Ribbon teachers for 2024. We have several from District 6, and I'm going to just really quickly just say congratulations to Allison Argo, Thomas Edison, Ramona Bryant. Oh, she's not in District 6, but Ramona Bryant, congratulations to you too. Jennifer Williams, Thomas Edison Elementary. Jeremy Kellum, Antioch High School. And Paige Babcock, she's at Apollo Middle School. She's in District 7, but, she's our neighbor. Sarah Paget, Smith Springs Elementary. Carrie Myers, Cane Ridge High School. And there was one more, Tiffany Wilkerson from John F. Kennedy Middle School. Congratulations to all of the 2024 Blue Ribbon educators. We are so proud of you and so thankful that you are supporting our babies. I think I have one final thing and then I'll let it go. Nope, that's it. So just as a reminder, Antioch Cluster Meeting will be at Smith Springs Elementary on Thursday. And I will see you if traffic is not too bad at the All Southeast Council Community Meeting tonight at Cane Ridge High School at 6 p.m. Thank you.
For District 7, there will be a trunk or treat bash at Glencliff High School at 5:30 this Thursday. District 8, Ms. O'Hara Block.
Tomorrow night, JT Moore parents are hosting a parent engagement Q&A for anyone who's interested in JT Moore for their child. That's at 6 p.m. at the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee on Belmont Boulevard. Hillsboro's homecoming game is on Thursday night, so that'll be a fun one to attend. We have a community meeting at Hillsboro on Monday night, the 28th at 5:30 to discuss the rezoning in that area. And that message has been sent out both by the district and also I know it's been in newsletters from schools as well. And then on the 29th, at 5:30, West End Middle School is also having a prospective parent night. So JT Moore, prospective parents tomorrow night, the 23rd at the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee, and West End next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. at West End.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Tyler.
Just add my voice to the call to vote. Folks in District 9, we've been seeing shorter lines at the Hillwood High School building. So that is an early voting location. So if you're in that area, it tends to have shorter lines in the Bellevue Library. But just however you get it done, get out there. Public education really depends on how this vote's going to go. So vote. Several things. Congratulations to Lawson's volleyball team for being the 2024 district tournament champions, as well as the regular season champions. Way to go, ladies. James Lawson's theater program will be presenting Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express starting tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and it will run through Monday, October 28th. There will be several opportunities to see the murder mystery, including 3 o'clock matinee times on both Saturday and Sunday. You can see my social media for more information and also to purchase tickets. And finally, Lawson's baseball team is hosting its inaugural golf tournament as a fundraiser for the team. It will be held on November 2nd. There will be tournament prizes. It looks like it's going to be really fun. There are still 3 days left to register if you're interested in participating. And again, you can see my social media pages for information on how to register. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our junior board member, Ms. Hannah.
Hello. So I've got quite a few announcements, so please stick with me. I'm going to try to go in chronological order. Thank you, Board Member Elrod, for saving me some words. Yes, Overton has so many events coming up very soon, so go show them some love. Okay, so first, Christine, I'm so glad you got to experience that panel. Kind of to continue, continue what you were saying, servant leadership means something different to everybody. I feel like I get asked that question all the time, but I know something that we have in common is kind of the statement that you made, that Board Member Mays said, that being on this board, we represent our constituents. We represent the over 80,000 students in this district, so it's not about us, our opinions, but we have to be honest about what the students want. I also want to echo what you said about having gratitude for being in this district, to have libraries, to be able to sit in this position, to have these test scores go up like crazy. It just shows how exceptional our students are. So a few more things I want to say. The Mayor's Youth Summit is this November 21st. Not that I was lurking, but I did see Member Tyler RSVP, so you should too. Hey, I'll get you an invite. I got you. It's open to all MNPS students. And then also, if you're from Ensworth or Valor, if you're just listening, you can also RSVP. It's at the Martin Center, November 21st from 8 a.m. to 12:30. Second of all, there is a MNPS athlete for volleyball that is currently on the Tennessean for Girls Athlete of the Week. Lyric Gordon is nominated for Girls Athlete of the Week through the Tennessean. Gordon added 9 kills and 4 blocks in 2 matches as Hume Fogg beat Liberty Creek 3-1 sets. So go vote for her. You can view that on the MNPS Athletics Instagram. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you, Mayor O'Connell. I arrived to a very sweet letter full of kind words on my desk for my appointment. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Senior Board Member, Ms. Christina.
I did want to thank Ms. Mays again for chaperoning me because she really made my trip amazing. I also wanted to thank Dr. Neva McKinney because she put me on oat milk and coffee. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I did want to say there is a debate tournament. Our second debate tournament is at Hunter's Lane this Saturday. So show up if you can. It'll be fun. There's a costume competition, so I'm winning that. But I mean, you can show up in a costume too. Yeah, and I did want to put out there that my tutoring thing has started. The Coherent Tutoring Program has officially started, and the first day will be Thursday. We're tutoring 8th graders at HT Hill Middle School. So just wanted to put that out there. I'll update the board on some results. Okay, that's it.
Just as a note, because she won't say it, she's so sweet. She founded that tutoring program.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. Expanding your leadership skills in many different ways. Thank you. The only announcement for the board is to echo Chair Emeritus, Board Member May's comments about the TSBA. I'd like everyone to participate so we know what we're going into the next session, what to advocate for education for our students in our district and funding. So be there no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.